All right. Should be live now. What's going on, guys? Happy Friday. Hope you guys all had a good day. We have a good 7-game slate to break down. There's a lot to go over. We got about 45 minutes to lock, so let's not waste any time. Hope you guys had a good night last night. Really solid night for me. Trae Young went off. 77 fancy points. I told you guys I was pairing him with Simmons, with Embiid. Both were pretty good. Joe Ingles is a solid value play. Jordan Clarkson went off for me. It was a really solid night. But yeah, let's keep it going for this slate. So let's go over what we know so far. We have De'Anthony Melton actually went through shoot around, so that's something to keep an eye on right now. I believe he got upgraded to questionable, so yeah, certainly something to definitely keep an eye on. If he ends up playing, he's a viable punt option. There's a lot of cheap Grizzlies that are certainly in play with no Triple J, no Brandon Clark. I'll talk about that more in a bit, though. Let's see. Giannis said he'll play. Looks like he's going to go. So that definitely takes Bledsoe and Middleton and Ersan completely out of play for me. Don't really have anyone that I'm considering there on the Memphis side or on the Milwaukee side. Marc Gasol ruled out. We expected that. Let's see. Hardaway Jr. probable. He's a little too expensive on Draftkings. On FanDuel, though, he is way too cheap. I did see he was like 4.3. We have Clint Capella out. We did see a starting lineup. I'll go over that here in a sec. Anthony Davis available to play. Let's see. Yeah, De'Anthony Melton now questionable again. So certainly something to keep an eye on there. DiVincenzo ruled out. No DiVincenzo, no George Hill. You could make an argument for like Pat Connaughton as a value play there for Milwaukee. Let's see. Yeah, Daniel House starting for Capella. So it looks like PJ Tucker's going to play the 5. We'll see how that goes. I think Hardenstein's just a dart throw now, right? Like there's a real chance he only plays like 5 or so minutes. There's also a chance he could, if he plays well off the bench, it could extend him. So, yeah, I think Tucker gets a boost, certainly playing the center position. And then Raptors starters, we got Lowry, Fred VanVleet, Anunoby, Siakam, and Ibaka. Kind of what we expected there. So let's take a look at some numbers here. We have the Raptors and the Pistons currently at 225.5. Raptors are 4.5-point favorites. Bulls, Nets, 220. Nets favored by 6. With the Mavs and the Rockets at 237. Rockets favored by 8.5. With the Grizzlies and the Pelicans, 242.5. Pelicans favored by 8. Nuggets, Bucks at 226. The Bucks are 13.5-point favorites here, so definitely some blowout risk there. OKC Suns at 223.5 with OKC favored by 1. And the late night hammer here, another game that has some blowout risk. Portland and the Lakers sitting at 231.5. Lakers are 13.5-point favorites. So let's go team by team here. We'll start with Toronto. And I was a little bit surprised at this line of Vegas. Only 4.5-point favorites. I would have figured Toronto would be like 8-9-point favorites. So that line definitely makes me a little bit more confident targeting these Toronto guys. The issue is their price tag. So I think my favorite play here is definitely Ibaka at 6.9, who we probably get anywhere between 30 to 35 minutes from him, and he's just too cheap at that price point. So I think Ibaka is a pretty solid mid-tier play. My issue is, or I guess it's a really close call with me with him and Porzingis. I think Ibaka is definitely the safer option. We know he's going to get more minutes, whereas Porzingis kind of up in the air, but his upside is massive without Luka. So I think if you're deciding between those two, maybe Ibaka for cash, Porzingis for GPPs. As far as Siakam, Fred VanVleet, and Lowry, I'm perfectly fine landing on one of those guys. I have no issue. I'm not playing any Toronto guys right now, just because I really like a couple of those Memphis guys with JV and Morant. There's a lot to like in Jokic. I think Jokic should be very low on, but I'm pretty high on him. So that's the way I'm going right now. But again, I'm perfectly fine landing on Siakam, FVF, or Lowry. All are priced accordingly. But again, you can see Lowry getting 40 plus. Same with Fred VanVleet and Siakam. Powell is, his price did drop, but still he's too scoring dependent. Don't think we have to go there in this slate. OG at 4.5 is viable. He got more minutes. Was a little bit of a letdown there. He's a lower usage guy, but can have upside games. Then Boucher, I think is viable, more of a punt play though, because there is some pretty solid value plays. Some of those Dallas guys, some of those Memphis guys, where I think Boucher kind of gets lost in that mix. But he is certainly a guy, when Gasol was out, there was a few games where they extended Boucher, even in close games, to like 25 or so minutes. If he plays really well, they could extend him, and you could see a huge upside game from him at very low ownership if that's the case. But yeah, definitely not a cash game play. Again, there's other value plays I would prefer there for cash games. And that's really it for Toronto. So all in all, I think my favorite play is Ibaka there, 6.9, but I'm fine if you land at any of those big three, and I'm fine if you take a shot in Boucher or OG as cheaper options. On the Detroit side, it's pretty simple for me. Not a whole lot I like. Don't think we have to go here. Drummond, why would you play Drummond or Jokic for $100 more, in my opinion? So I'm not going to go there. D-Rose, too expensive. Reggie Jackson is probably the one play I would consider, 4.8. It's really been surprising what he's been able to do coming back from injury. He's just been a different Reggie Jackson. I don't know where this has been, but he's been playing really well. So I'm okay if you go there as a value play at 4.8. Am I playing him? No, I'm not, but I'm perfectly fine with him as a value option. That's really it. Not a whole lot I like here in Detroit. Again, I think my favorite play there would be Reggie. Dallas and Houston, so this is a big one to break down. No Luka. We did get a Hardaway Jr. is upgraded to probable, so I think we probably get about 30 minutes from him. He does have upside, but 6K, I would personally rather take a shot on some of those cheaper guards. Now, I get if you want to go Hardaway, he's going to be lower owned. He can still have upside this price, but as far as cash game goes, right? Cash games, you're going to want the cheaper guys in there, whereas Hardaway is more viable for GPPs. Porzingis, this is the big question mark because we have no idea how many minutes he's going to get. They've really been limiting his minutes, 25, 25, 26, 20. But his upside is just enormous with no Luka. We saw him on a daily basis with no Luka. He was getting 40, 50 every single night. So this is the big question mark. I am playing him. I'm taking the shot in him for GPPs. I think there's a decent chance he does get extended here, and I just love his upside. So yeah, I get it if you want to fade, right? The Mets are up in the air, but I'm just banking on the fact that he gets a little extra run, and his usage obviously can go way up with no Luka. Now we get to the cheaper play, so I would not consider DFS or Cauley-Stein. It's the guards that I want here. Brunson, Seth Curry, DeLon Wright, and even JJ Barea as a riskier play. So we've seen Brunson is going to be the absolute chalk. We've seen him start the games with no Luka. He's had massive games. So if he starts once again, I think you play him and move on. If he comes off the bench, that's a different story because then his minutes are up in the air. So I assume he starts because that's what we saw with no Luka, previous games, but you never know. So yeah, Brunson starts. I think you play him and move on. As far as DeLon Wright and Seth Curry, I think DeLon Wright would be my preferred play there if you pick him between the two. Again, his minutes should go up. We probably get 25 to 30 from DeLon Wright. He can have upside at that price. I also have some interest in JJ Barea. Now his minutes are a little bit more risky in my opinion. Again, this is Rick Carlisle. He will run the most wacky rotations on a night-to-night basis. You can never really predict what he's going to do, but Luka played huge minutes, like 35 plus a night. So those minutes have to go somewhere, and I think Brunson gets a lot. I think JJ Barea probably is in this rotation, probably gets 15 on the low end, maybe 25 in the high end. So he's certainly a viable punt option in my opinion. I don't think I would go Kleber or any of these other cheaper guys. So all in all, it's Porzingis that I really like. The big question mark is just the minutes for him, but love his upside there if he gets extended. I think Jalen Brunson as well can be super, super popular. If he starts, I think you play him and move on. I think DeLon Wright and Seth Curry are viable. I think I would give the edge to DeLon Wright over Seth Curry. And then JJ Barea, I think, is a viable punt option for GPPs as well. His minutes, again, a little bit more up in the air there. But that basically wraps it up for Dallas. So let's move on to Houston. Yeah, the big question here is what do you do with Harden and Westbrook? And that's a tough one. I think Harden's going to be higher owned. Just what I've seen recently, just what I've heard. I think James Harden is going to be higher owned than Westbrook. He has been terrible recently. So it's all about do you want to buy low and go for a higher owned Harden, or do you want to get a lower owned Westbrook who's been playing a lot better? That's up to you. Again, I think they're very, very similar. It's a tough call. It's probably easier to play Westbrook just because he's been playing so well, but the Harden breakout game is going to come soon. It is. I think ownership will be higher on Harden, but it's almost a coin flip for me there. I don't have a strong lean either way. if you want to play one of those Houston spend-up guards. So we have no Capella. That's pretty significant. Looks like, again, Daniel House going to start at the 3, or the 4 or whatever. PJ Tucker going to start at the 5. He gets a little bit of boost playing the 5. He's still not a super productive guy, but his rebounds should go up with no Capella. I think he's a viable punt option. Not like super excited about him. Rivers, McLemore, don't think we have to go there. I wouldn't go Cephalosha. I know he got run at the backup center, but if I was going to take a shot at a mid-price guy here, it would be Hardenstein, and just hope he gets the minutes. But we saw that last game against Utah, in the same situation, he only played 6 minutes. So, yeah, I think he is, if you're making a lot of lineups, I think he's worth a shot in one, because you never know. He could play well at the bench, and they could extend him. And this guy has big upside if he gets minutes, right? New Orleans, 34 minutes, 39 fantasy points. Denver, 18 minutes, 35 fantasy points. So definitely not a cash game play. 26 minutes, 52 fantasy points. He could break the slate. If he plays well, if he gets minutes and plays well off the bench and gets extended to like 20-plus minutes, he's probably going to break the slate. So he is someone that I would look to for GPPs. Definitely not cash games, because there's a shot he doesn't even play, or there's a shot he gets like a couple minutes. But by the off chance he gets extended, I really think he could break the slate. So that basically wraps it up for Houston. Let's talk about Chicago, Brooklyn. This game in general, not super excited about a lot here. I think Levine is just going to train spend up for me. Don't see myself getting it done, or Satoransky. I think Thad Young's an okay, safe option at 5K. We probably get low 30s minutes from him. I'm fine with that. But that's really it. Really pretty quick. Don't have a whole lot of interest here in Chicago. On the Brooklyn side, it's one player only. That's Kyrie, and he's just more contrarian for me. Again, don't see myself getting to him in cash games. He's very up and down, 41, 35, 65, 36, but at least we know the upside is there. Mediocre matchup. I'm okay going there for GPPs. Definitely not for cash games for me. No one else I'd consider. I know Dinwiddie's been playing well, but that price is too expensive. Allen and Jordan splitting the center minutes, not going there. Taurean Prince, I'm not chasing that big game. LeVert, I guess at 4K is okay value, but I would prefer those Dallas guys. I would prefer some of the Memphis guys we'll talk about here in a bit. That's really it. Really, I am full fading that game. Not a whole lot I'm very interested in. Now we get to a game that I love. It's going to be popular for sure. Memphis and New Orleans. So I think for cash games, you play Jonas Valanciunas and you play John Morant and you move on. I love both these guys. I think we get 30 to 35 minutes from Morant. This game's going to be played at a super fast pace, so I love Ja at this price. I don't think he's going to be that high owned, but I'm all over him. JV, a little bit different story. He's going to be the ultimate chalk, him and Brunson, but I am eating the chalk. There's no way I'm fading him. They have no other bigs, really. I don't know who's going to run the backup 5, whether it be maybe Solomon Hill, maybe Watanabe gets dusted off. Josh Jackson is a guy they can use. I'll talk about him more in a sec here, but yeah, I love Ja Morant. I love Jonas Valanciunas. I think two of my favorite plays in the day. I will not be fading these guys. I love them both. I'll be playing both of them in my lineups. I think you definitely play Jonas Valanciunas in your cash game lineup. I think you probably play Ja Morant too. I just love his price there. Love the matchup. So those two I'm really excited about. As far as Dylan Brooks, I don't like playing score-independent guys. He doesn't do a whole lot besides score the ball. But, this is a spot he could still get over 30 real-life points. But, yeah, I would definitely cash games give the edge to JV and Morant, whereas Brooks is more just GPP play for me. Now let's talk about the cheap guys. So, no Triple J, no Brandon Clark, or he's doubtful. Don't expect him to go. So, that is huge because Triple J was playing about 30 minutes a game. Brandon Clark about mid-20s. So that's a lot of minutes to go around. I think Jay Crowder gets a little extra run. He's a viable punt option. I think DeAnthony Melton, this is big to me because if he ends up playing, I think he is certainly someone who can have a massive upside game at 4K. He might get a little extra run, so definitely keep an eye on his status. If he gets rolled in late, he's going to be super low on. But I could see a big upside game from him, kind of in a situation like Melton or like Hartenstein, right? Very risky, but if he ends up playing, he could have a huge upside game at that price. I also mentioned Kyle Anderson, unfortunately. I think he gets a little bit more run at 3.8K. Tyus Jones, not as much at 3.1, especially if D'Anthony Melton comes back. Solomon Hill, I think he's a candidate to get back up 5 run. He is definitely in play at mid price. I have a good amount of interest in him. And then Josh Jackson. I'm actually intrigued by Josh Jackson here. I don't know what they're going to do for a starting lineup. I don't know how many minutes he's going to play, but this could be a spot where he gets extended. Maybe 20, 25 minutes. You never know. And he is a guy that's going to shoot the ball when he's out there. We saw it with Phoenix. He's going to shoot the ball a ton. So at mid price, another one kind of like the Hartenstein situation where he could break the slate if he gets like 25 to 30 minutes. So I have interest in him as well. So there really is a lot to like here in Memphis. Definitely my favorite team to target today. Again, I love Morant. I love Jonas Valanciunas. I get it if you want to go Brooks. He's more GPP play for me. And then I think you take shots in the cheap guys. I don't really think one stands out more than the other. But Jay Crowder, Melton if he plays, Kyle Anderson, Solomon Hill, and then Josh Jackson. I think there's a real chance he could get extended. And just like in the Hartenstein situation, could break the slate. So if I was making a super, super risky lineup, I would probably throw Hartenstein and Josh Jackson in there and just hope they get the minutes because, man, if both like those guys end up getting like 20, 25 minutes, they really could break the slate. So, yeah, there's a lot to like here from Memphis. On the New Orleans side, there's a good amount to like here too. It was good to see that Drew Holiday and Ingram can have upside games playing alongside Zion. Drew had 57. Brandon Ingram had 38. So I think both those guys are viable. I'm not like super, super excited about them, but it's a really good spot. I could see you going there as part of a game stack. I have some interest in Lonzo at 7K. I think I would slightly give the edge, though, to John Morant at a similar price, but I do have some interest in Lonzo as well. I think Zion, probably my favorite play here at 7K. This is a really good spot, and the minutes have been ticking up. I assume we get a little bit more. I assume we get probably 32, maybe 33. So I could see a breakout game from Zion here, and you're getting him at a pretty cheap price tag. So I have a lot of interest in Zion there at that price. Don't mind favors either. Like I don't think Zion's going to be able to hang with Jonas Valanciunas. And Jonas Valanciunas is probably going to have to play big minutes because there's not a whole lot of center options, or he's literally the only big. So I think Favors is out there whenever JV is out there. I think we get about 30 minutes from JV, so I think we better get about 30 minutes from Favors. I haven't seen a lot of people talk about Favors. He's center eligible, which is tricky, but yeah, I love his upside here at this price, and I think he's going to be super, super low owned. And then JJ Redick is a viable punt option. He's score independent, but at 25 or so minutes, he can get you there for sure. So wrapping it up, there's a good amount to like here. I think my favorite play would be Zion, but I get it if you want to go Drew, Ingram, or Lonzo. Again, Favors, I think he's super low owned, but my best guess is they try to use him defensively as much as they can against JV. JV not very good defensively, so I could see an upside game from Favors at this price. And then JJ Redick's viable as well as a cheaper punt option. So, yeah, I like a lot here in this game. I think a lot stands out. I think this is definitely my favorite game to game stack just because there's very, guys are very cheap. So you could really make a solid game stack if you wanted to for GPPs, right? You could go John Morant. You could go Jonas Valanciunas. And then you could get a couple of those studs on the Pelicans side. Say we want to get Zion and say we want to get, Ingram or Drew. We'll throw Ingram in there. And then you can get some cheaper, you can take a shot at one of those cheaper Memphis guys, right? Like say you want to take a shot on like a Josh Jackson, wherever he is. And yeah, like I said, you could really make a pretty solid game stack with this game. So I like that a lot for GPPs. But let's move on to Denver, Milwaukee. And this is a situation where, so I'll go over my cash game core at the end here, but this is where I'm taking a stand and being very contrarian. I think Jokic and Barton are going to be very, very low owned tonight. I love them for GPPs. These guys are not, I think you could make the argument for Jokic for cash games, but I love Jokic. I love Barton for GPPs. No one's going to play them. Well, I think Jokic will get some ownership, but a 13.5 point spread, I think that's going to scare a lot of people off. It's a back-to-back. There's real chance the game blows out. I know the risk playing these Denver guys. There is a good chance this game blows out. So that's why I don't think I would go Jokic or Barton for cash games. But I love their upside for GPPs. If Denver's going to stay in this game, We know it's coming from Jokic. We know it's going to come from Barton. Barton has been terrible recently, but no Gary Harris. We probably get 35 plus minutes from him. I think a breakout game's got to come soon, right? Kind of like the Harden situation. So I really like Jokic. I really like Barton for GPPs. Again, I would not go there for cash games, but I'm taking a shot on 2 low-owned guys and hoping Denver keeps it close. Definitely, again, if you're a guy that's making like single entry tournament lineups, I don't think I would go here either. It's a very, very risky build. But I love the upside in Jokic. I love the upside in Barton. I'll be playing both tonight and just praying Denver keeps it close. Again, I know there's a really good chance the game blows out, but I love both both them at their respective prices. As far as other Denver guys, we have Jamal Murray, I believe, already out. And then again, no Millsap, no Gary Harris, no Plumlee. So Porter Jr. is okay at 5.4. Monte Morris, okay at 5K. Malik Beasley is a viable punt option, I think. He's very contrarian, right? Because everyone's going to go with those Dallas guys. Everyone's going to go with the Memphis guys. Again, for cash games, you play the Dallas value, you play the Memphis value, but I could see taking a shot on Beasley at 3.3 for GPPs. And that's really it. So, yeah, like I said, this is where I'm taking a stand here and just hoping Denver keeps it close. I'm playing both Jokic and Barton. Would not recommend it for cash games. Would not even recommend it for single entry GPPs. But that's the way I'm going tonight. Again, got to take a stand sometimes in slates. That's where I'm taking a stand with the Denver guys. On Milwaukee side, there's really not a whole lot I like here. With Giannis playing, Duffy takes Middleton, Bledsoe, and Ersan out of play for me. Giannis himself is at 11-7. So that makes it tricky to get to him. He's more of just a contrarian dart throw at that play. The reason why I don't think, I'm playing Jokic and Barton, the reason why I don't think I have to run it back with anyone on Milwaukee side is because, I could see Giannis having a good game and get 55 fancy points. So I don't think he's needed in a lineup if Denver keeps it close. But I think there's some interesting value options. Again, I wouldn't go Middleton. I wouldn't go Bledsoe. I don't think I'd go Brook Lopez. Center is just too loaded for me. Ersan with Giannis back, I'll pass. But no George Hill and no DiVincenzo. I think the value guy I would take a shot on is Connaughton at 3K. I think he's just a guy that gets those peripheral stats, and if he gets 25 or so minutes, I could see him having a decent game at min price. So he would be the one guy I would consider. Again, definitely not a cash game play, but I could see him getting 25 or so minutes and being pretty solid there. Let's move on to OKC Phoenix. OKC is always such a hard team for me to break down because everyone is always so similarly priced and no one really stands out. So CP3, SGA, Schroeder, and Gallinari. Kind of like the Toronto situation, I am perfectly fine landing at any of those guys. I just don't really think one stands out more than the other. But I think probably at least one or two has a pretty good night here against Phoenix. Really good matchup. So, yeah, I don't have a strong lean on which one I want to play. Kind of my analysis all the time for the OKC guys, but it's really hard because they're all similarly priced. So I think CP3, SGA, Schroeder, and Gallinari, I think one or two probably have a pretty good game if OKC keeps it, or if this game stays close, which it should. Adams and Noel, they're spreading the minutes, not going there. Again, center's too loaded for me to take a shot at Adams. That's really it for OKC. I'm perfectly fine landing on one of those guys. I don't really think one stands out more than the other. On the Phoenix side, I think Booker is, you can make the All-Star game play here, or the narrative that he did not make it an All-Star game. So he's probably going to come out mad and want to put on a show. We've seen that recently. We've seen that a couple years ago. I remember, I forget who it was, but when a guy should have made it and didn't, he came out and had a huge game. So I don't mind taking a shot for Booker for GPPs for sure at 9.1. Again, I think he's want to come out and put on a show and let people know he should have been an All-Star. 8 and 8.3 is doable too, but I like Jokic more. I like Jonas Valanciunas more. That's the way I'm going on this slate. Oubre, I think, is pretty appealing at 6.3. He's been a little bit up and down, but this price is very, very viable. Again, if you're looking for Oubre or Gallinari, they're both almost the same price, right? So that's a very, very close call with Oubre or Gallinari. I think they're very, very similar plays. And then don't mind Rubio, 5.9. His price has dropped. We haven't really seen a big Rubio game in a while, but you're getting him at a pretty cheap price, so I'm okay going there. Don't think we have to go Bridges or Saric with the value plays I've talked about already. So let's move on to the last game of the night. And this is where I was going back and forth with my GPP build. I told you guys I'm playing JV and John Morant and Jalen Brunson. And then I was going back and forth with, do I want to play Jokic and Barton, or do I want to play LeBron and Lillard? Right now, I'm going with those Denver guys because I think LeBron's going to be really popular for cash games. Obviously, there's a lot to like. He's probably going to want to put on a big game for Kobe. But let's talk about Portland first. So I like Lillard a good amount as a contrarian GPP play. Again, don't think we can go there for cash, but he has been amazing. And if Portland's going to keep it close, we know it's going to be because of Lillard. We have no Melo too, so there's more shots to go around. So again, I was so close. I still liked my build with Lillard and LeBron in there, but I'm just going a different way. I'm going Jokic and Barton and more of those Pelicans and Grizzlies guys. But I would definitely consider making a lineup here for GPPs with Damian Lillard and LeBron James. You could look to AD too. Like, AD is going to be very contrarian because everyone's going to go LeBron. But you can make the argument for LeBron, right? If I'm probably going to play the late slate. I think for the late slate, I'm going to start my lineup like that. Can I get CJ in here too? I don't think I can. Maybe I can. I can. So if there'd be, I don't know what's going to be on the late slate, if there's enough value. Probably not, but that lineup has just enormous upside. And you could definitely do that for a GPP stack as well, because for the main slate, there's enough value, right? There's the Grizzlies guys, there's the Dallas guys, so you could make this work if you wanted to. So yeah, I like that build a lot for GPPs. Again, if Portland's going to keep it close, most likely because of a huge game from Lillard. Don't mind Whiteside at 8.4, but I just prefer other centers. Again, Jokic, Valanciunas. Again, no Melo. That's pretty big. He shoots the ball a lot. So CJ stands out as a really solid play here at 6.4. I think he's a good cash game play at this price. Again, there is some blowout risk, so that is a concern. But 6.4K is pretty cheap for CJ. Don't mind Ariza at 5K, but he's more of a guy that has to knock down those corner threes. And then I'm interested to see what they're going to do with their starting lineup. If they're going to move Gary Trent in there, move Ariza down to the 4. Or I don't know what they're going to do. Like, who is going to guard Anthony Davis here? That is who is? Are they going to move Nasir Little in? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who's going to guard AD, whether it be Ariza or someone else. But like I said, there's a lot of upside there for AD. And then again, on the Lakers side, LeBron is going to be super popular. I get it for sure at 10.3. Again, he's probably going to want to put on a good performance for Kobe here. So I'm perfectly fine getting a LeBron for cash games. I think he's going to be very popular, but he has a pretty high floor. The only concern is there is a slight chance for a blowout. Anthony Davis is at a pretty cheap price too, 9.6K for AD. We got 39 minutes from him, so it looks like he's off that minutes limit. Yeah, I like that a lot. Again, like maybe you don't go CJ, but man, I would probably, if you're making a lot of lineups, I think I would play this lineup in one. I think I would play that lineup in one and go value elsewhere. But I love the upside with that core too. So, as far as everyone else on the Lakers side, not really for me. I guess, you could consider like Rondo for the late slate at 3.6 as a value play. Everyone else, though, like McGee and Dwight will split the center minutes. Kuzma, 3.9. I guess, for the late slate only. But that's really it. So, all right, we got about 15 minutes to lock. Let me check to see if we got any more news, and then I can give you guys my core cash game plays. Now, these are not going to be the guys that I'm playing for GPPs, but for cash games, I will give you guys what I would do. D'Anthony Melton will play. So he is certainly someone that is a viable punt option. We have Clark ruled out, Hardaway Jr. Available. Okay. So, for cash games, I think this is the way I would go. I just really like those the Memphis guys. So I'm playing John Morant. I would go Jonas Valanciunas, and then value play. Assuming he starts, Jalen Brunson. He's gonna be the absolute chalk. And then it's a close call with. I think Porzingis is fringe cash game viable just because even if he gets limited, he could have a massive game there against Houston. So I would it's a close call. I don't know who to give here with Porzingis or LeBron. I'll go LeBron. I think he's a little bit safer, but I would definitely still consider try to get Porzingis in there too. as far as cash games go. So there it is. That's the cash game core. If I was going to play cash games, again, I kind of told you guys what I'm doing for GPPs, though. I got Jokic, I got Barton, I got a little bit more in the Pelicans and the Grizzlies game. So yeah, let's get some questions here. Again, if you guys enjoy this content, just take a couple seconds out of your day, hit that like button. It would really, really help me out. But let's do it. All right. Let's see. Melton will play. Yep. Any core plays for the GPP side? I mean, I kind of went over like my potential builds for GPPs. I really like this game as part of a game stack, and then I really like the Portland Lakers game as part of a game stack. I would, again, Lillard, GPP plays, Lillard, Anthony Davis, again, LeBron, but he's going to be pretty popular. Those Dallas cheap guards, Porzingis, on the Memphis Pelicans, there's a lot to like there. I'm going Jokic and Barton, hoping Denver keeps it close, but that's very, very contrarian. I think Steven Adams is a good punt. Sure, I guess. He's just the minutes, right? He's not playing enough minutes for me to consider him right now. 23, 24, 26. Sure, maybe he gets 28 minutes and gets you 25 fancy points, but you're using up one of your really valuable center spots. I don't think I would do that. He's like a 6.5K player normally. Yeah, but he's not playing his normal minutes, right? Normally he plays like 32, 33 minutes. He's playing about 25 minutes right now. Contrarian stack, Rubio, Booker, and 2 OKC guys. I like that too. The OKC guys are a little bit underpriced. And Rubio and Booker, yeah, that's perfectly fine with me. With Adams and Schroeder. Lillard, Brunson, Porter Jr., Porzingis, Valanciunas, Irving, Ariza, and Anderson. So that's definitely a little bit more contrarian GPP. I don't think Lillard's a cash game play. Porter Jr., a little bit risky too, but he can get you there in limited time. SGA, okay play. Yeah, like I said, I'm perfectly fine landing on one of those OKC guys, 2 even. DK. DeLon Wright or Trevor Ariza, same price. I like the upside a little bit more at DeLon Wright. I think we should get about 30 minutes from him. You never really know with Carlisle. I guess there's a chance if he doesn't play well, he'll keep limited to 15 minutes, then you're kind of screwed. Whereas Ariza, he's kind of locked into big minutes. So maybe go Ariza for cash games, but I like the upside more with DeLon right there. Let's see if we got any more news. All right, DK, do you trust playing Rubio? I think it's a pretty cheap price. So, I mean, he's been bad recently, but he's not going to stay like that forever, right? He's kind of like the Harden situation. He's going to have a big game soon, and Rubio is a guy that 40, 50, even 60 fantasy point upside. We probably get over 30 minutes from him in a close game. So, I'm perfectly fine going there at 5.9. Drew Holiday and PJ Tucker for cash. I don't know if I would play Drew in cash. I don't. He's like a fringe play. I would like him more for GPPs. PJ Tucker cash. Yeah, I'm okay with PJ Tucker. We probably get about 35 minutes. Again, his rebound rate should go up playing the center position. LeBron or Russ cash. I think it's LeBron. The argument there, though, is there's a good chance the Lakers could blow out Portland. That's a close one for me with LeBron or Russ. Maybe it is Russ because, well, I guess what's the over/under in the Houston game? Or the spread. 8-point spread, whereas Lakers and Trailblazers 13.5. I think LeBron's going to be higher owned. And for cash games, you normally go with the guy that's higher owned. So I think LeBron. Trent Jr. or Torrey Craig. I would go Trent there. Thoughts on Ingram as a run back? Yeah, I like Ingram again. He flashed a little bit of upside there with Zion playing. So I'm perfectly fine going there. Favorite Grizzlies value play? I think the safe option is probably Solomon Hill at mid-price because I assume he's the one that gets the backup center run. So I think Solomon Hill for safety, whereas Josh Jackson is the guy that I have no idea how many minutes he gets. Again, D'Anthony Melton coming back does worry me with Josh Jackson's minutes. I think there's a chance he doesn't get a whole lot. So maybe I go D'Anthony Melton there instead. So I think it's Solomon Hill for safety, D'Anthony Melton for upside. Crowder, Ariza, Hardaway, or Anunoby. Good question. Is Tucker a solid cash game option? I think he's okay. I don't think he has huge upside, but again, him playing the center position does give him a boost, in my opinion. He's 4.4. I think he's a pretty solid. I don't think he's going to kill you. I don't. But yeah, so I think he's solid. Crowder, Ariza, Hardaway, Anunoby. Well, are we talking about Draftkings or FanDuel? Because if it's FanDuel, Hardaway is way too cheap. I would play almost 100% Hardaway if I was playing on FanDuel. If we're talking Draftkings, probably Crowder. Is it fine to play Melton, Solomon Hill, and JaVale? Yeah, I think so. I like that a good amount. Brunson and Anthony Davis or Lillard and Hartenstein GPP. Well, I mean, you don't always have to go with the riskier play in GPP. Like Brunson, Anthony Davis is just way safer because we know Brunson's gonna have a lot more minutes guaranteed. If you're making like a whole lot of lineups, that's where I would go Lillard, Hartenstein, and just hope Hartenstein gets some minutes. So I got to go Brunson and AD there. But again, I talked about Hartenstein as a dart throw play. Like he could break the slate if he gets minutes. Rubio, good play at 5.9. I think he's pretty solid. Thoughts on Cornette? Not for me. Again, I like the Dallas value more. I like the Pelicans or the Grizzlies value more. I'm going with Ja, Levine, LeBron, Solomon Hill, JaVale, Brunson, Crowder, SGA. Okay. Levine a little bit more contrarian. I guess he's okay. Well, it's a pretty good spot against Brooklyn. 8.5. Yeah, I'm okay with Levine there. I'm not like super excited about him, but he's fine. Yeah, I love Crowder. Yeah. Also, is Pat Connaughton in play? Thanks, man. Yes, I think he is. I don't know if I would do it for cash games, but he is the one value guy I would take a shot on if I was going to for Milwaukee. Because no DiVincenzo, no George Hill. That's a good amount of minutes to go around. So, any cash appeal with Thon Maker. Not with Drummond playing, I wouldn't do it. House Jr. or Tucker. I think I go Tucker there. Which two out of Brunson, Hart, and Melton? Brunson and Melton for me. SGA or KP. I like the upside more with KP, but we know SGA is going to play more minutes. Again, a KP is like fringe cash game play just because he's gonna have so much usage there with no Porzingis or no Luka. I think I go KP in cash and GPPs. Can you play Brunson and Wright in the same lineup? Yep, of course you can. Huge minutes to go around, huge usage to go around. Those guys have upside for sure. DeLon Wright, Zion, or Brooks, Ibaka. I'll go DeLon Wright, Zion. It's tough. I'm going to play SGA because I don't like the minutes of KP. That's fine. Yeah, like I said, that is my worry too with Kristaps is there's a chance he still only plays 25 minutes. Is Thomas Satoransky a value play? I don't think I would do it. Sure, he'll have like a upside game every once in a while. Where's his price? He's at 4.6. Yeah, I guess he's okay. Yeah, he's in play. I'm not super excited about it, but he can have upside. He can put 30, 40 up there. So, yeah. Wait, he's questionable? I thought he was already ruled in. Probable, yeah. So I'm actually okay with that. Is Solomon Hill a lock? Definitely wouldn't say a lock because it's Solomon Hill, but I assume he's going to get the backup 5 run. You never know. He's not a very high usage guy, but he is min price, and there is minutes to go around. So I wouldn't say he's a lock, but I think he's definitely in play as a value option. Thoughts on Barea? I do like Barea. Just throwing it out there, I have him in my lineup, but I'm going, again, very risky. I'm hoping Barea gets extended. He is, again, definitely wouldn't recommend that for cash games, but if JJ plays well, you never know. Like, it's Rick Carlisle. He could play 25, 30 minutes even. So I currently have him in, but that's pretty risky in my opinion. I love Barton. The Bucks like to give up threes. Yeah, like I said, that's where I'm taking my stand on this slate. I'm playing Jokic. I'm playing Barton. Memphis wants to run small. JV in trouble. They have no other bigs, though. So, I mean, even if JV only gets like 25 minutes, like he's too cheap in this matchup. So I'm not super worried about JV. I'll be eating the chalk. He's going to be really popular, too. So I don't think I would fade him for cash games. You could make the argument for fade him for GPPs just for that reason. Crowder or THJ, Crowder 100 plus on FanDuel. Oh, on FanDuel, yeah, I think I go THJ there. Levine, Ja, SGA, or Harden, Porzingis, Satoransky. That's tough. I like the upside more with number 2, but obviously number 2 is riskier with Harden playing atrocious, with Porzingis minutes up in the air. Satoransky's minutes can be up in there too at times. So I think number 1 is safer, but I like the upside more with number 2. Thon Maker starting. That's a little strange, but I get it against Toronto. I don't know. I don't think he sees a lot of minutes. Like when Drummond was out, Thon Maker would start and play about 20 minutes. With Drummond playing, I think those minutes are probably less. So what's his price? Where is he? I gotta get off Chicago. And I gotta get off the Lakers. No, that's Tony Snell. Definitely don't play Tony Snell. 3.3. I just think I like the value elsewhere, but I get it. I think there's a chance he plays 10, 15 minutes. GPP line, Satoransky, Brunson, Craig, Sleeper. Kyle Anderson, J-Val, Lillard, Ingram, LeBron James. Yeah, perfectly fine with me. Zion or Porzingis. I'm playing both, so that's tough. That's basically a coin flip for me. I like both a lot. Harden, 90 burger. Wouldn't be surprised. Again, the breakout game is going to come soon. Opinion on CP3 versus SGA for cash. I'm leaning towards Paul. I think I always go Paul for cash over SGA. Yes, I think I would go CP3. Like the Vertidol 4K, I guess. I think I just prefer value elsewhere, but I get it if you want to go him at that. That's a pretty cheap price for LeVert. LeBron dropping 81. Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of upside there. No risk, no reward. Josh Hart in play. Josh Hart or Crowder. I would go Crowder over Josh Hart. How many minutes has Josh Hart been playing? Or is he at? He's at 3.9. Yeah, I think the Mets will be higher on Jay Crowder. So, right, that was Jay. Yes, I'll go Crowder. Beasley in play again tonight. He's a risky value play. I think he is in play. I wouldn't do it for cash games, but no Gary Harris. We probably get over 20 minutes from him. Maybe a little bit more if he plays well. Russ, Brunson, LeBron, Kuzma, Val, Satoransky, Porzingis, and Kyle Anderson. Yeah, I'm not super excited about Kuzma, but everything else looks okay. Again, Satoransky too, but I get it. At 4.6 is a pretty cheap price tag. Let's see. 4 Grizzlies in one line isn't too many, right? I don't think so. I think you can play 4. Let's see. So, again, Morant, JV. Where else? Where else would I go here next? I think, probably Solomon Hill for safety, as gross as that sounds, or Kyle Anderson. You could go there, and then like De'Anthony Melton, or I'd probably go De'Anthony Melton or Jay Crowder next, one of those two. So yeah, I think you can play 4. For Monte Morris, good lord. I don't think I would go Monte Morris. Okay, so this is pretty interesting. Thanks for tagging me in that, Corey. We have news. Jenkins said the Grizzlies are going to play small and try some new lineups. Haven't seen the starting lineup yet. Sure, that worries me a little bit with JV, but I think they're more referring to that when JV's not out there because they have no backup big, right? So they're going to have to play small no matter what. Like, I don't think JV is going to come out and play 20 minutes. I guess you never really know, but he's also going to be the ultimate chalk for cash games. So, yeah, you could make the argument to fade JV for GPPs for sure. Cash games, I think I stick with it. Memphis coach just said they're going small. I know, but again, I think they have to go small, right? With two of their bigs out, they have no other choice. So I think they're going to have to go small ball at times. Morant, Brunson, LeBron, Kyle Anderson, JV, Lillard, Maker, and Favors. I like that. Maker's fringe, but I get it at 3.3. How many points do you think Kyle Anderson and Crowder get tonight, DK? I mean, I think a pretty safe projection is Crowder for like 25 or so, maybe 25 to 30 Crowder, then Kyle Anderson probably 15 to 25, somewhere in that range would be my best guess. There goes JV. No, I mean, I'm not getting super worried about that. Again, I think that quote just refers to when JV's not out there. What Dame, Brunson, Braun, Ariza, JV, Schroeder, House, Danny Green. Okay, I mean, I'm not super excited about House or Danny Green. That doesn't affect JV. Like I said, yeah, I'm not really worried about JV. He's been playing big minutes recently. Sure, there's an off chance he could get limited, but how do you feel about Zion? I stacked Jovel, Melton, and Ja and Zion to run it back. I mean, that's very similar to my build. I have JV, Morant, and Zion. So yeah, I like that. Pelicans don't have any big men, so they can play small with them. Exactly. I mean, that's why that quote is out there, is because when JV's not out there, they have to play small ball. Pelicans don't have big men, so they can play small with them. Sure. I mean, that's that again. I think Favors is out there whenever JV is out there. So if JV somehow gets limited to like 22 minutes, I think we get 22 minutes out of Favors. If JV plays 32, I think we get 32 out of Favors. That's my best guess. I'm probably going crazy here, but here's my GPP lineup for tonight. Okay, Booker, Pat, House, Josh the G League MVP Jackson, J-Val, Dame Dollar, LeBron, and Chalk S. Brunson only if he starts. Wait, so Pat. Who's Pat? So I refer to Pat as... Oh, Pat Connaughton. Okay. Yeah, like I said, I think he is a viable punt option. Relax, guys. They're not going to just not play their starting center. Exactly. Thoughts on Gallinari for his price? I like a lot of those OKC guys. I don't really think one stands out more than the other, but yeah, JV still got 33 DK versus New Orleans in 21 minutes. Right. And I was super tilted then because I was really high on him, and he only got 21 minutes, so that was a little bit tilting. I'm stacking the Grizz and Pelicans. I got Zion, Drew, Morant, Hill, and Melton. I'm going out blasting with that game. I mean, yeah, like I said, I would recommend, if you're making multiple lineups, make a game stack of that game and make a game stack of Portland Lakers. Those are the two games I would target the most. So yeah. Barea starting. Well, I like Barea a lot then. If he's starting. Let's see. Yeah, Mavs will start. Okay. This is typical Rick Carlisle, man. Like, what the fuck? Starting JJ Barea, Ryan Broekhoff, Hardaway, Finney-Smith, and Porzingis. Oh my god, that is so typical. Why am I not surprised? Whenever Luka has been out, it's always been Brunson. Nope, let's go Ryan Broekhoff. Levine and Craig are Dunn and Morant, GBP. I'll go Dunn and Morant. Brunson not starting. Why does Rick Carlisle have to do this? Like, why are you playing Ryan Broekhoff or whatever the hell? How do you pronounce his name? This is so dumb. Now we kind of got to go back to the drawing board. So I like Barea a good amount now at that price. He's going to be very chalky. I'm worried about Brunson, Seth Curry, and DeLon Wright's minutes. I am. This is Rick Carlisle. You never know, but like, what the hell, man? Their minutes are certainly in jeopardy. I still think we get, probably at least 20 minutes from Wright and Seth Curry. Brunson, maybe 15, maybe 30 if he plays well. So now this is a situation where it makes it a bit riskier. Carlisle will literally play anyone. Yeah. Here's my super GPP dart throw. Booker, Levine, LBJ, Jackson, Felicio, Paul, Connaughton, Hardaway. Definitely risky. Well, back to the drawing board. Who the fuck is Broekhoff? He doesn't want anyone to play DFS tonight. Thoughts on Brunson now? I mean, he's riskier for sure. Um, uh, I mean, there's still a lot of minutes to go around, right? I don't think Brunson gets a DNP, but I could see going off him now for sure. Like, he's definitely riskier now. He definitely is. I think a lot of people will pivot off, but I still think he's viable. He's riskier. So I think now for cash games, I'd probably go Barea over Brunson now. But you never know, right? Like, Barea can start and play like 15 minutes, and they could play Brunson for 30 off the bench. You just don't know. And that's why I hate Rick Carlisle for DFS, because you really just have no idea. I have no idea. I don't. Like, any of those guards, I would not be surprised if any of those guards play 15 minutes. I would not be surprised if any of them play 30. I just have no idea. So go with your gut, really. Again, Barea starting. Yeah, maybe he's a little bit risky, or maybe he's a little bit safer, but he could still play like 10 to 15 minutes, so they could run everyone else off the bench. So it's one of those, throw your hands up in the air. I'm still playing Brunson. I'm still playing Barea. I still think there's a lot of minutes to go around, but yeah, definitely a little bit risky now with Ryan Broekhoff in the rotation. Would you pivot to Barea? Up to you, man. Again, I could see you going both ways. I really don't have a good answer, unfortunately. I wish I did. I'm playing both Barea and Brunson and just hoping they get good minutes. Would you pivot for mine, LOL, Brunson to Barea and Pat to Korver? I mean, you could just go Brunson to Barea. You don't really have to. I would probably still play Connaughton or Korver. Is Broekhoff in play now? I don't think so. He's a lower usage guy, but I mean, if he's gonna get good run, I don't know. I probably still wouldn't do it. I have no idea. This slate is up in the air now for Ricardo. THJ or Rubio for GPP. Probably give the edge to Rubio. I'm worried about Porzingis now. I mean, Porzingis is starting, so I don't know, man. This is just so dumb. Melton or Brunson now. They're both pretty similar, honestly. So that's basically a coin flip. Again, I'm sorry I don't have like a better answer, guys, for these Dallas guards, but I really don't, because I have no idea what the minutes are going to be like. I'm just going to pivot to Barea and get off Brunson and hope for the best. Perfectly fine with me, right? Like, Barea starting, he's probably a little bit safer, but you just don't really know. Curry and Hardaway and Porzingis, only ones I trust. Yeah, I mean, I think the only one I really trust is Porzingis. Everyone else, yeah. Thoughts on Grizzlies playing small. Worried about Joe Val with that news. I'm not super worried about it. They're going to have to run small ball with when Jonas Valanciunas is not out there, right? So I'm not super worried about that. I still think we get 25 to 30 from JV. Mavs are going to get blown out, LOL. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a good chance they can. Saw the Mavs line and broke off my ties with Brunson. That's a good one. Trent, a good play at the same price as Brunson. Trent's a little bit riskier, but I think he probably starts, and he's a guy that can get hot, so you could definitely pivot to Trent. Again, my hands are kind of up in the air right now with these Dallas guys. All right. I'm going to hop out of here, guys. Hopefully you guys pick right on those Dallas guards. Hopefully we don't get screwed from Rick Carlisle. That's a big if, though, because everyone's minutes are up in the air now. Everyone. So, yeah. Again, hopefully you guessed right if you're playing one of those Dallas guards. I'm still playing, full-on disclosure, I'm still playing Barea. I'm still playing Brunson. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah, thanks again for having to come and check out the live stream. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys have a good Friday. I hope you win money. I'll be back for another Slate Saturday. I'm probably not going to have my video up later tonight, so I'll have that video up tomorrow morning for Saturday. Be on the lookout for that. With Dante DiVincenzo out, main beneficiary, Connaughton or Wes Matthews. I would go Connaughton there. But yeah, I'm going to hop out of here, guys. Thanks again. I really do appreciate it. I will see you guys all tomorrow.